engaged in various activities, which are not permanent, for the purpose of earning money or for the purpose of maintaining the body and things like that. So, but we also need to, that is needed to taken care. But along with that, we also need to spend some time, for the purpose of permanent. And so this is not very much valued in this world. So like people may kind of put this as an option or kind of a recreation, or if we have time, we can do something and things like that. So, but here we have a very good set of volunteers, and now leader Sudhir Gopal Prabhu is there, and many other devotees here. So they, for them it is not an optional thing. For them it is like very, very important and integral part of life. So, it is these Bhagavad Gita also have to be learned, from such people, like for whom this is not an optional thing. Like कभी मन किया तो करें, like नहीं तो नहीं करेंगे. So it's not like that. So this is very, very essential and important thing. So you all might have gone through the overview and then this one of first chapter. Anybody would like to share something of what you all have studied in the first chapter? First chapter of Gita? Okay.
In the beginning of first chapter, we learned that Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra is asking a question: what is happening in the ground of Kurukshetra? And then Sanjay introduces everybody in the Sena, both sides armies, and Arjun asks Lord Krishna to take me to see both the armies, and then he is in a delusion: should I fight or not?
Nice, nice. Anyone else like to say yes?
Hare Krishna. So basically, what I found is Dhritarashtra was influenced by moha or delusion, and delusion was coming from mamatva, means my sons versus other people. So that takes me to the devastation of this dynasty. So one has to be very, very careful that we are not deluded by mamatva. This is what I feel.
Nice, nice, nice. Any other points? हाँ बोलिए बोलिए, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
तो उधर धृतराष्ट्र के पास संजय है, वो उनसे पूछते हैं वहाँ का दृश्य क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है. तो उसने ये दोनों सेनाएं वहाँ खड़ी हैं, क्या हो रहा है? तो संजय बता रहे हैं कि दोनों आपके जो राजा दुर्योधन, उनको संबोधित करते हैं दुर्योधन राजा. दुर्योधन को उस समय संजय राजा बनते हैं, सेकेंड श्लोक में है. तो वो वहाँ पर जाके दोनों सेनाएं खड़ी है, दोनों तरफ की सेनाएं हैं. आपकी तरफ के लोग ये हैं, बातें बताते चले, उनके आपकी बताते ये है, सारे लोगों का बताते हैं, और अपने यहाँ का बताते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ के ये सब लोग महारथी हैं, एक से एक बढ़ के शस्त्र धारक हैं. तो यही वर्णन बताते हैं लास्ट में कि वहाँ क्या
Acha. So, like, thanks a lot for all this wonderful recollections. So, like some important things from the chapter 1 I also highlighted here. So, Arjuna's compassion and reasons for not fighting. So, as all of you have nicely put forward, both the armies were there and there was question. So, like, what's happening, and the whole scene is described. And when the description of the scene is going on, so one particular incident is happening that Arjuna, after analyzing the opposite party, like this is generally it happens in the war battle. So there is generally the analysis of like who's come to the fight and like what is their capacity, and so all those analysis actually happens. And during that time, he somehow kind of breaks apart, and then he feels compassion for the people, for the friends and relatives, and then he is thinking that how will I enjoy if I kill all my relatives, and sin will come upon me, and destruction of family traditions will happen, because all the people who are going to ensure the family traditions are going to be maintained, all of them are assembled here, and if all of them are killed, so then who will actually take care of the generations to come? So like this, many valid reasons that Arjuna actually puts why he doesn't want to fight the battle. And we have to see why Krishna chastises Arjuna for presenting such valid reasons. So he has presented many wonderful reasons, but still Krishna did not actually accept that particular this one. So for this, we need to understand the basic foundational principles of the Vedic system. How does the Vedic system work? What is the goal of the? And many people are doing many different things, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and like Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Everybody have different roles and responsibilities, different duties. All these things are mentioned, but all for what purpose? For one purpose, that is to develop jnana vairagya. This is the whole purpose of all the Vedic systems. Everybody are doing their various disciplines, and how to develop this jnana vairagya? So it is by performance of dharma. So one should act according to dharma. If we act according to dharma, so then we will develop jnana vairagya. So now, what is the goal of Arjuna? Arjuna's goals were like mentioned that friends and relatives have to be nice. That's very nice. That's very valid. This one, and know how to get enjoyment and how to avoid sin. And how to maintain the family tradition. All of this is very important. But if it provides or if it facilitates one to advance in jnana vairagya, so then all of these things are all these things have to be done in such a way that it should develop jnana vairagya. And for that, one has to follow dharma. So all of it is accommodated in the dharma. So if somebody wants to enjoy, so there is a dharmic way to enjoy. Somebody wants to take care of his dependents, there is dharmic way to do all these things, right? So it has to be done in a dharmic way. So now, what is this dharma all about? So there is three kinds of dharma. In fact, Bhagavad Gita talks about four kinds of dharma, but for simplicity, we have taken only three. So there is karma dharma is there is jnana dharma is there, and there is bhakti dharma is there. So karma dharma means like following of varnashrama duties, following of prescribed duties. Srila Prabhupada writes that to follow prescribed duties. And jnana dharma means like today we are going to see a set of shlokas from text 11 to 30 of second chapter. So which primarily deals with the jnana dharma. And also like later in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is a very interesting section. You all can study that also. Sloka number 8 to 12. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, acharya pasanam, socham. So like that, there is many items of knowledge that is actually mentioned. So recently, like in ISKCON Whitefield, like we are starting with a small micro school, and the discussions were happening. So how to educate the children? So like it's very few students are there, and here the whole aim is to be based on like generally like Srila Prabhupada often criticizes the modern education as slaughterhouse or as not a very good education. So what is the reason behind saying that? So education or knowledge, what is this knowledge? Knowledge means to understand what exists. What exists? Bhagavad Gita clearly mentions Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahankaramiti, Emme, Binna, Prakriti, Rashtada. That means earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. These 8 exist, and these are all material energy. And apareya mitastvanyam prakritim viddhi me param Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Edam Daryate Jagat. Apart from this Panchabhuta, apart from this mind intelligence, there is another entity called soul, living entity exists. So now, if somebody explains all these things put together, so then that becomes knowledge. So now, what happens in the modern education is carefully the soul and the super soul is cut. Only like we try to study the earth, water, fire, air, ether. To some extent, mind and intelligence is studied about. So, like it is like if we are the education is meant to teach us how to live, how this world functions, and how to respond to things and things like that. It is just like an equation. So most of you must have like come across equations in the mathematics. Like if you have an equation with variables x, y, z, and in that you only substitute values for two variables. One variable you just avoid. So then the results will come haphazard. It will not actually produce the proper results. So the real knowledge means studying all the matter along with spirit, understanding that everything comes from the Supreme Lord and everything should be utilized in the service of the Supreme Lord. Then it completes the knowledge, right? So the Bhagavad Gita, here also the material subjects are taught. You will find that the warfare, like how does warfare happens, how does economic system actually is taken care. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna speaks about the universal economic system. So like how does the economy actually functions. So all these things are dealt with even in the scriptures, but it is dealt with in a universal perspective, in a wholesome perspective, and nothing is left out in this one. So that is how like the education has to be along with all these things. And education, what is the purpose of education? It should produce knowledge. And so in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna specifically dedicates certain sections as this is Jnana Yoga, or the process of generating knowledge. In fact, in the 13th chapter 8 to 12, Krishna, in fact, he mentions that Etad Jnanam iti proktam. Whatever I have listed down here is Jnana. And whatever else is there, Ajnanam eto anyata. So like whatever else is there, that is Ajnana. So I'll just just as a prelude, because today we are going to touch upon a little bit of knowledge aspect. So I'll read this one. Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsak shantirarjavam acharya pasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigrava indriyateshu vairagyam manahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshan darshanam ashaktir anabhiswanga putradara grahadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopavattishu Mai chananya yogena bhakti rabhya vicharini vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsati adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etat jnanam iti proktam. So these things are considered to be jnana, and ajnanam yat atonyata. So what is like how to generate knowledge, how a person can become knowledgeable? So Srila Prabhupada writes, this is the process of knowledge. So this whatever is mentioned here, 18 items are mentioned, is called process of knowledge. So what is the process of knowledge? To practice humility, to practice being prideless, to practice being non-violent, to practice tolerance, to practice simplicity, to practice cleanliness. So these are all things actually produces knowledge. So now when children are sent to the school, ideally they are supposed to be taught in these principles. So when we were having discussion on this micro school, so one instance, like we were just remembering, like some time back, one of our devotees shared. So there was in our ACS layout near to Kundanali Gate, ACS layout. So near to that, there is a small school is there. So where they teach the small children, in the pattern of Montessori, and also in little more practical, and they teach children on a day-to-day lively basis, kind of. So like, so one child, she was coming with one assistant, one ayah also was assisting the child in coming. And this ayah would remove the shoes of the child and put the shoes of the child and things like that. So then the teachers over there, they told, beti, like, aisa badon se like seva nahi lena chahiye. So you should not take service from elders. So you should do your work yourself. And the parent become very, very angry. So like, this is part of knowledge. the parent was thinking, no, there is something called knowledge in the book, and it has to be memorized and reproduced, and that is knowledge. But then the teachers were little more knowledgeable, and they were teaching the child, like, know how to be simple, know how to do your work yourself, and how to respect elders, all these things. This is knowledge actually. In fact, Chanakya Pandit defines knowledge as Matravat Paradareshu, Lostravat Paradaveshu, Atmavat Sarvabhuteshu, Ya Pashyati Sapandita. So, like, to see, any woman other than one's wife as mother, so Vedic culture teaches us to, like, see everybody as mother. So, that's why, like, here in ISKCON culture, everybody are addressed as Mataji, So, like, husband should not address as mother, and then Lostravat Paradaveshu. So we should not see the other person has a big flat and I have a small flat. So that comparison only should not come. If that comes, that shows the sign of ignorance. Okay, so that person has performed some punya, and according to that, he is having some riches. And I have performed something, and according to that, God has blessed me with something. And I should be satisfied with whatever I have. So this is also a sign of knowledge, actually. So this, the modern system of understanding knowledge to be something that how to make money or how to manipulate matter and create more facilities and things like that. So this is, in the Vedic system, it is not considered to be knowledge. In fact, this is considered to be ignorance. Right? So this is considered to be ignorance. So like the knowledge means, these items. This is like, you can, at leisure, you can study this. And Srila Prabhupada actually gives in the purport every single item, humility, how to practice that humility, one paragraph, and prideless, that pridelessness, one paragraph, like that. So it is very, very practical, very practical, this one. So then we was kind of like, discussing in that, this one, like we should somehow or other educate our children in these items, so then it becomes like knowledge. Then actually we can produce nice gems, who can actually, lead the society in the future in a very, very nice direction. Right? So, like Jnana Dharma, so we are going to see a portion of Jnana Dharma between text number 11 to 30. And then Bhakti Dharma, so that is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So now all of us have assembled to hear about Krishna, about the teachings of Krishna. So this is Shravanam and Kirtanam is happening. So this is part of Bhakti Dharma. Then remembering the Lord, like rendering service unto Him, like to the deity, and like offering obeisances or offering prayers to the Lord. So these are all considered to be Bhakti Dharma. So, like, how is this dharma practiced? So this dharma is practiced in different packages. So karma yoga is there, jnana yoga is there, bhakti yoga is there. Many different yoga systems are there. In essence, all of these yoga systems are bhakti only. So like karma yoga means to perform bhakti plus jnana plus karma. That is considered to be karma yoga. And jnana yoga means to perform only bhakti and jnana. And exclusive bhakti yoga means to perform only angas of bhakti. So very exalted devotees like renunciants, they actually perform the exclusive bhakti. But otherwise, all of us also have to perform bhakti. That is why Krishna, here Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice terminology. Karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. So we have to perform bhakti in karma yoga. So in generally, like most of the devotees, we would like be doing that particular this one. And Arjuna is also expected to do that particular yoga. So he is supposed to remember the Lord, he is supposed to chant, he is supposed to do all those things. And then he is supposed to follow the principles of jnana, that is like simplicity, pridelessness, cleanliness, and all those things. And along with that, he as a Kshatriya and as a Grahastha, so he has to discharge his duty as a Kshatriya Grahastha. So that is also part of this one. So this is his dharma to be followed. And just on a side note, like there is a nice shloka which says, Bhagavad Bhakti Shastra Japastapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokaranjanam. If somebody says, I will only do jnana, I will only do karma without bhakti, so it becomes Apranasya Dehasya. The process itself dies. It's like Apranasya Dehasya means like a dead body. So body without life. So karma yoga gets its life from bhakti. Jnana yoga gets its life from bhakti. Right? So bhakti is the central point and central this one which everyone must perform. There is no exception to like practicing bhakti in the whole society. So that is why, traditionally speaking, Vishnu Bhakta Bhavet Daiva Asuram Tad Viparyaya. So like, no, anybody is supposed to be considered as non-asura, non-demon. So he should have Vishnu Bhakti. Because in the Vedic system, like everywhere, Vishnu Bhakti is the underlying principle. No, Bhakti is the underlying principle of karma, Bhakti is the underlying principle of jnana, and of course, Bhakti Yoga mein to, like, Bhakti is definitely there. So this is very, very important principle. So now, why is Krishna chastising Arjuna for his all the reasons that he had given? So Krishna comes to this world to establish dharma, and his very dear friend Arjuna, in his very presence, is contemplating of doing something against dharma. So like, so like, if somebody is like, very rich person, and if his relative is begging, he'll say like, मेरे पास आ जाओ भाई, like, कितना चाहिए तुमको दे दूंगा. So like, मेरा नाम बोल के भीख मत मांगो. So like, this is very important, this one, that Arjuna is contemplating of performing adharma, right? So he is like contemplating not doing his duty, no? So like, what is adharma to a child, who's going to the school? Not writing homework is an adharma. And then he may give very valid reasons also for that, like, mummy ne sabji kharidne bhej diye. No, in fact, like, we did one college program, and we asked the students, like, what is the difficulty in studying? So, and everybody gave so many valid reasons. One whole board got filled, like, so, and like, anyways, and now we see that, like, Krishna chastised Arjuna. He asked, how such a contamination has come? You are thinking about adharma, and you are thinking about adharma as dharma. It is not that Arjuna is telling, see, I am tired of performing dharma, so now I will take a break from dharma and I will perform adharma. No, Arjuna is not telling like that. Arjuna is explaining that how doing these things, how avoiding this battle is dharma. No, we should feel compassion for all these people. No, how can you kill relatives? No, so, and he's citing scriptural evidences. No, so that means what? We can perform dharma safely by quoting scriptures. No, in fact, Ravana, like Hiranyakashipu, these all were very, very expert in scriptural knowledge. In fact, when Hiranyaksha was killed, by Varahadev, so like how Krishna is speaking in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, how he is speaking about body and soul, Hiranyakashipu also speaks the very same philosophy. Exactly, like almost very same set of, like, points. Hiranyakashipu also mentions, just because Hiranyakashipu cites the scriptures, he will not become a daiva. No, it is like one has to cite the scriptures and one has to also perform, like, for the purpose the scripture is actually, guiding us. So we cannot cite the scripture and perform something else which the scripture doesn't want us to do, right? So here Arjuna is presenting his arguments as dharma, but actually, in fact, it is adharma. And how are you thinking like an anarya? No, anarya. Arya means dharmic personality, and anarya means like one who is non-dharmic. And thinking about think about your noble lineage. So that is, what is the lineage of Arjuna? He is coming in the Kuru Vamsha, and then also his his mother's side is also very glorious, and his father's side is also very glorious. And top of it, like, he's an Amsha of Indra, so like he's getting from, like, he's got a very, very great lineage. So like a lineage which follows dharma, so like somebody in the lineage which follows dharma suddenly, performs adharma, so that is like very, very disgraceful. So that's such a kind of a disgrace was there for Duryodhana. He also came in a very same lineage, but then he's following adharma. So now think about your noble lineage, what kind of name you will bring to your lineage, and think about your friendship with me. I am the Lord of all dharma, and you are my friend. So like, and then, where from such weakness of the heart has come? So in the scripture, this weakness of heart, or hridaya daurbalyam, is mentioned as like this specific discrete items are considered to be weakness of heart. Attachment to temporary rather than being attached to the permanent, and hypocrisy and deceit, and envy or desire for prestige, position, name and fame, and things like that. So these are all considered to be weakness of heart. Arjuna is falling into this weakness of heart, of getting attached to something which is temporary, right? So he is putting, like, when there is a conflict of what is that dharma, so one has to take the higher dharma and then give up the lower dharma. So that is this one, in a conflicting situation, one has to do that. It is not that always a particular activity is always going to be right. No, so it is in comparison basically. So if there is a higher dharma that is to be done, and if there is a lower dharma that is conflicting, so one has to give up the lower dharma in order to perform higher dharma. So that is something that Arjuna is not able to do at this point in time. Right? So now Arjuna is intelligent but still confused, and this is mentioned in many places. Even in Bhagavad Gita itself, it is mentioned. So Krishna mentions in 4th chapter, Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayopi atra mohitaha. So like kavi means a learned person, and kim karma and kim akarma. So this can be interpreted as like, what is dharma and what is adharma, or what is action or what is inaction. So like, these kind of things are even knowledgeable people. What is there? Like just 3 things are there. One has to perform varnashrama duties, jnana dharma and bhakti dharma. That's all. So simple. Like just we have to do it. But it's sometimes it can become very, very complex and very challenging. What is to be done? Like what decision to be done? So like the nature actually puts in front of us some critical problem, and the question arises like, how do I respond to it? What am I supposed to do in this situation? So that confusion, like kavayopi atra mohita. So like even intelligent persons also get bewildered. So that is why in the Vedic system, everybody functions under the shelter of a guru, bona fide spiritual master. So it is like always we need guidance. Like we may be able to solve others' problem, but when we are in problem, we need an external help. It's always not possible for us to figure out where we are going wrong, or where we need, what we need to do exactly. So to fine tune that particular this one, we need to have guidance actually. And Arjuna is arguing at this point in time that they are my gurus, they are my superiors. How can I kill them? How can I fight with them and things like that? And Krishna is putting forward, you see, guru and superior, like who deviates from dharma, like to follow such a guru and superior is adharma actually. So if the superior personality, like if he instructs us in line of dharma, in line of scriptures, then that must be followed. But if an instruction that comes which is not in line of the scriptures, then it must be rejected. So classic example is of Bali. So like, what is dharma? Veda pranihito dharma. What is there in the Vedas is dharma. And so Bali Maharaj is a very great personality. He is considered to be one of the Mahajans. He is grandson of Prahlad. So very, very great personality. And he was put in a fix. Like the Lord Vamana, he came as a small boy, and then he asked him 3 steps of land. And his spiritual master Shukracharya immediately rejected, saying that no, this person, identity of this person, he is the Supreme Lord himself, and he has taken the side of the Devatas, Indra, and so on, and he has come here to make you bankrupt. So like, don't agree to his proposal. And then that time Bali Maharaj was in a fix, like Guru is telling that you should not follow this, and here is a Brahmana who is asking for a charity. And for Kshatriya, like his nature, Kshatriya's nature is to be charitable. A king is naturally charitable, and that too, if he has given a word and go back on his word, is like as good as committing suicide for him. So if a Kshatriya, like if he is not able to keep up his word, he might as well kill himself rather living by not fulfilling his word. So that is very, very critical. And on top of it, ultimate dharma is one should follow and serve the Supreme Lord. And if the identity of this Brahmana is clarified, he is the Supreme Lord Vamana, and he is requesting something, how can I not fulfill that request of Vamana? So that time he actually applies, okay, my spiritual master at this point in time, he is instructing me something against the scriptures, and I should not follow. And later on, his spiritual master appreciates him, saying that, okay, you know what? Like, in fact, Vamana, finally he asks Shukracharya, what is the fault of your disciple? Then, like, Shukracharya says, like, no, there is no fault in him. Like, no, he's perfectly followed the dharma. So, in that way, like, we see that, like, no, one cannot follow the guru or a superior who deviates from dharma, right? And also Krishna mentions, in order to execute your Kshatriya dharma, you need to have something. You need to have a kingdom. So without kingdom, like how will you execute your Kshatriya dharma? And you're all well-trained Kshatriyas, and you need to have a kingdom. And a Kshatriya cannot live by begging. What other options are there? So Arjuna is telling, like, no, I can even live by begging. Like, why do I need a kingdom? So then Krishna is mentioning that is not your dharma. Begging is dharma of the sadhus and not your dharma. You are a Kshatriya and you have to have a kingdom. And putting forward all these things, like Krishna is establishing what arguments Arjuna is putting forward. This is all is wrong. So when Arjuna gets exhausted of his arguments, he comes to a very nice shloka. He says, kindly repeat after me. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha pritchami tvam dharma sammuda chetah yashreyashan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. Okay, so now Arjuna, a very great personality. There is no end to the credentials which Arjuna actually has. And in front of so many people, this is all happening in the public, in the battlefield. In front of so many people, he is openly confessing, I am confused about my duty, due to miserly weakness. No, I don't know what is best for me. Please tell me for certain what is best. I am surrendering unto you. Like, so this, if you see, for a Kshatriya, to surrender unto somebody is like very, very difficult. Very difficult, or it is impossible basically. So they, like, if at all they do, so they do towards their spiritual master or towards like sadhus and personalities like that. And so this word surrender doesn't come so easily in the mouth of Kshatriyas. In fact, if you see in the battle of Kurukshetra, many warriors were assembled. And like not all of them were of the capacity of like Arjuna and Bhima and Karna and Bhishma and personalities like that. So it is like if two mountains are colliding, will an ant like to go in between that? So will not. But then there are many Kshatriyas who have come there who are not so powerful like these personalities. In fact, if you see like Bhima and Arjuna are described, especially about Arjuna it is described. One of the name of Arjuna is Bibhatsu. That means just by seeing him, one will get terrified and sometimes he will get heart attack also. If he is with Arjuna is with armor and with all his bow and arrow and things like that, and he's sitting on his chariot. So anybody sees him, who's not very strong at heart, he may die also there. So such terrific personalities. These are very terrific personalities. And many small warriors, fighters, they also come to this battle of Kurukshetra. What's their idea? Their idea is not that they will be able to fight and win these people. They are very clear. We are not equal to that. But still, even if we give up our life, we should give up our life in such a kind of a battlefield where such great personalities were fighting. हमारा life का एक नाम बनेगा हमारा. So many times like people say that my grandfather was a freedom fighter and he left his life in the freedom fighting and things like that. It's like it's a name basically. So like these Kshatriyas don't understand the language of surrender. So it's very difficult for them. So in publicly in front of everybody, if Arjuna is coming to this point, we should actually understand he's more than a Kshatriya. He's actually he's a real seeker of knowledge, and he is really wanting to understand what is my duty to be performed. And such kind of a person who is confused of his duty, but he knows that if I surrender to a knowledgeable person, so I will get clarity of what I'm supposed to execute, and I can actually execute my duty properly. So they are best students for enrolling into Gita course. So Arjuna was a very nice student. First student of Gita course. Like live Gita course directly by Krishna. So, and his qualification is very well ascertained over here. And Krishna, immediately after he starts speaking, he actually establishes one very important thing, like we need to understand what exists. This is in philosophical terms, it is called ontology. So that is to understand what exists. So the modern day scenario, so the understanding of what exists is like earth, water, fire, air, ether exists, and probably mind and intelligence. Some branches of study says like mind and intelligence exist, and some branches say they don't exist. And then soul, so like everybody say like it doesn't exist at all. So like we have gone severely wrong in understanding what exists. So then after that, like what to do with what exists. That actually goes to the next this one. So the dharma. So like that is there. So that's the next level. Even to before following dharma, why I need to follow dharma? So what exists is a very, very important principle. And Krishna mentions the learned will not lament for non-existent. So what is Krishna mentioning that, like, no, he's chastising Arjuna basically. So he's telling that you are not a learned person. No, you're a fool. And why you are a fool? Because you are lamenting for something which is not existing. What is that Arjuna is lamenting for which is not existing? बॉडी तो एग्जिस्ट होता है ना, दिख रहा है, टच कर पा रहे हैं हम लोग, पिंच करके देखिए like एग्जिस्ट होता है कि नहीं. No, like the answer body is correct, but why it is why it is called non-existent? Perishable. So there is an example of firebrand is given. You all have, I don't know if you have got an opportunity to see any performance of circus or some this one where like a kind of a fireball is there, and then you have a long string, and a person actually like rotates it and things like that and all. And when a person rotates a fireball, what do you actually see there? A circle, fire circle. Does that fire circle exist? No, it doesn't exist actually. So here it is something like that. You all know the this one behind the motion pictures, like how does a motion picture is generated? Is like the films you see that people are speaking and acting and all this hand movements and like all the gestures, everything is coming out. So is there anybody within the screen like doing all those things? So what's actually happening over there? Different pictures which are flipped at a very, very fast rate. So that makes it appearing that actually some action is happening over there, right? So different still pictures which are moved at a very fast rate. So then it makes it appear that it is moving. So very similar thing, different earth, water, fire, air, ether, this different particles, different like atoms and molecules and things like that. So which is like it is every atom, it has a specific lifespan. So at every moment, like there are many like cells are dying, and many cells are actually taking birth in the body. So but it is just like the same way like the movie pixels change, the same way like inside our body also it's happening. So every moment there is some cells are dying and some cells are taking birth, and over a period of time we see like, okay, this is a person, it's feel, but actually it is non-existent because it is constantly changing. There is constant change that is there. So that is why like learned people consider this body to be non-existent, and it is something like this firebrand. And then this soul is always existent and the body is non-existent. Sometimes the philosophy the existence of the individual soul. So like there are philosophies where it talks about karma mimamsa and entities like that. So they seriously question the existence of some philosophies. They seriously question the existence of the soul itself. So they only talk about matter and transformation of matter. Or modern philosophy that is there. So that is also talk about transformation of matter, but it doesn't talk about the existence of soul. So, but Krishna denies that. Krishna actually establishes the existence of soul, and only soul exists. And it is like there are other philosophy. There is only one soul exists. So, like all of us, our souls, like they accept on that point. But then what happens at the time of liberation? We will merge with the super soul, or we will merge in the existence of the supreme absolute truth, which is which is like a light or something like that. So there is an argument. One of the Vaishnava acharyas actually mentions that if Krishna were to know that all souls are one only, and so Arjuna is also the same soul, and Krishna is also the same soul. So only a mad person will chastise himself, and only a mad person will teach himself, and only a mad person will ask after teaching, तुमको समझ में आ गया क्या? तो like खुद को ऐसा नहीं कोई नहीं पूछेंगे. So it is like Lord is that different Atma, is a Paramatma, and the soul, his individual soul, is Anuatma. He is a different existence. Both of them exist, and this Krishna, he puts it in a very, very nice shloka, Natvevaham Jatuna. So like that, in that shloka, he actually second 212, no? Natvevaham Jatanasham. Natvam neme janadipaha, nachaiva na bhavishyamaha, sarve vayam atapparam. So he puts past, present, and future. And he puts the first person, that is Krishna himself, and he's speaking to Arjuna. Arjuna is second person. And all the kings who are assembled there, so they are third person. So this is how much in a language you can express first person, second person, and third person. And past, present, and future, all spheres of time. And all times, all these living entities are existing. There is no question of one soul merging into another soul. So which Krishna categorically will explain that soul cannot be cut to pieces, soul cannot be merged. So this is like very clear, this one. So there are some philosophers who tell soul doesn't exist. So that is not authorized in Bhagavad Gita. And there are some philosophers who tell that soul merge into Brahma Jyoti or something like that. So Brahman mein leen hone ka and things like that. So that is also Krishna doesn't agree upon. So we exist in our individual capacity all the time. In the past we were existing. Now also we are individuals. In the future also we will continue to be individuals, right? So then another thing that Krishna actually puts forward is when the body changes, our identity actually remains. This is because of the soul, right? So like we see that Dehi no asmin yata dehi yata, so that particular this one. So like the Dehi, Krishna clearly mentions the person, the soul as a Dehi, the possessor of body, and Deha is the body that which has been possessed, and the Dehi is not going to change. The soul is not going to change, but the Deha is going to change. Like how it is going to change? Kaumaram, Yavvanam, and Jara. So like we are going to we were a small child at one point in time, and then some are in youth, some are in like old age and things like that. So like this change, so it happens, but still we feel that we are the same person. So how do we feel that we are the same person? Because of the same soul exists in the body. So that is how this identity comes. Like even if I put a different dress tomorrow, I'll feel I'm the same person. Just because I change the dress, I will not get a different identity, right? So this is like the soul exists as a permanent entity, the body exists as a temporary entity, right? So then, okay, after understanding what is permanent and what is temporary, so Krishna comes to the point that if you want to attain permanency, if you want to get a permanent life and live in a permanent happiness, anything permanent you want to have, so then you should learn to tolerate temporary things. So there are two, this ones are there, the permanent and temporary. So now satsanga, so satsanga is a permanent thing. Like weekends, we need to come for satsanga. So at any cost. And temporary things are like our other activities, like which are meant for fulfilling the needs of survival. Sometimes in that, like some boss chastises like theek hai, chalega, and if I get more profit, less profit, chalega. It has to be like tolerated. So that is very, very important. So Krishna mentions yadricha labha santushta. So this is one of the important principles in order to make advancement in knowledge, in order to make advancement in jnana vairagya. One of the important principles is yadricha labha santushta. Whatever by the will of Krishna comes, I should accept it as his grace and I should be grateful to him. Right? So like it is not that I did so many things, like I'm supposed to receive so much more. So we should not be in that kind of like anxiousness. No? So, and then tam titikshva subharata, here he mentions in this particular shloka. So, tolerate the upheavals of this middle world. No? You understand this is temporary and you want to achieve something permanent. If you want to achieve something permanent, tolerate the temporary things. No? So, that is something that he mentions. Tolerate the heat and cold, summer and winter, profit and loss. If you can tolerate, you will become eligible for liberation over a period of time. But if you actions and reactions of this temporary thing, you will not be able to go upwards and go to the plane of liberation. So we have to make material things constant, in order to achieve something spiritual, right? So that is why this tolerance principle is mentioned. So what are we supposed to do with the matter? We are supposed to deal with the matter in a dharmic way. And what are we supposed to do with the results of the dealing? Just tolerate. Whatever results that comes, just tolerate. So these are the two essential teachings that Krishna actually mentions here. That you, if at all you want to go to permanent position or attain liberation, so then tolerate the material upheavals and focus on making spiritual advancement. Right? And then I don't know if it is too small here. So this is Krishna also puts forward how does a learned person view this world. So that is very very important. This one. We also actually try to do Shastra Chakshu. Shastra Chakshu means like generally when we see based on our perception. Just like a small child may see a moon or a sun and it thinks that it is a small ball kind of a thing which is hanging in the sky. And sometimes the child may cry also. मुझे वो बॉल चाहिए दूसरा बॉल दुकान से खरीद के देंगे नहीं वही बॉल चाहिए मुझे अरे वो बॉल नहीं भाई वो सन है so based on our understanding and our kind of a perception we come to some kind of a conclusion, but that may be faulty because because of our conditioning. So one should actually take the understanding from the scriptures, that is called Shastra Chakshu, seeing through the eyes of learned or seeing through the eyes of the scriptures, right? And Krishna is mentioning what is a learned person, how does he see this world? He sees that there are two entities, that soul and body, or spirit and matter. And soul is constant and unchanging, and matter is constantly changing. There is no durability for the matter. And soul pervades the entire body, and in fact the soul gives the consciousness, and matter is inert and dead. It doesn't have any consciousness, and soul can never be destroyed and body can be destroyed, and soul is unborn and ever existing, and body has a manufacture date which we call as birth date, and also it has an expiry date. So the body dies at certain point in time, and it is compared to the soul is compared to a person who's wearing dress, and body is compared to the dress itself, and then soul can never be destroyed or impacted by any weapons, no fire weapon or sharp weapon or the weapons using water or wind or whatever it is. So none of these things can actually harm the soul, but body is susceptible to such effects actually, and soul can never be cut into pieces and body can be cut into pieces. So these are all the learned vision. And Krishna comes to the point, see, understand what is permanent and what is temporary, and whatever you have lamented for, it is all for this temporary thing. So you have lamented for the temporary thing. If you at all want happiness, you follow Swadharma. If you follow your Swadharma, ultimately you will receive happiness. So in the Vedic system, so what is it's just like if I want some 1 crore of rupees, so what all ways I can get that 1 crore of rupees? What ways I can get? I should work. I should work and anticipate my salary and then accumulate and things like that. But it is slow. After so much time, I will get something quick. Gambling. Break an ATM. Nice. Immediately I will get. See, anywhere you carefully analyze, if I want something immediately, the only way is adharma. Immediate gratification means only way is adharma. So dharmic way, if I want something, I need to put in some efforts. I need to wait for some time. That is when I'll get something, right? So one devotee was mentioning the Vedic viewpoint of like marriage and divorce, no? So like a Vedic person, what he will, no, modern day context, like no, I ordered a product in the Amazon and I didn't like, no, I returned, and I got married to a partner. I did like, no, I returned. Like, it's something like that. This is modern conception. And Vedic conception is, I performed some kind of an activity in my past life, and for that I have got a result now, and I should tolerate. If I don't tolerate, like divorce is technically adharma. So then, if I perform adharma, my future will be like even more bad. So like, Vedic system teaches a person to tolerate. It's not that like, this thing I don't like. So you don't like means this is what you're paid for. This is how much you worked for. Like, what do you mean? Like, you like, you don't like, So this is what you're paid for, and you just have to live with it. So, and like the Vedic idea is, whatever comes by the will of the Lord, I must take it, and it is also like, one is with the Lord, another is what I worked for, right? So I should accommodate that, and I should tolerate. So that is why the first principle that Krishna teaches is matras prashasta kaunteya shitoshna sukadukada adama paino anityas tam titikshvasu bharata. Like, learn to tolerate the upheavals, or it is also can be compared to a student gets a mark, and he gets a bad mark, and then he goes and fights with the teacher. Like, no, why did you give a bad mark? And the teacher says, like, why did you write such a paper? So right. So like, it is, we have to, one has to follow Swadharma. So the Vedic system teaches, whether you like it or not, just follow your Swadharma. What is your dharma? What is your duty? You just simply follow the Swadharma. In future, if you follow your Swadharma, in future, definitely you will be happy. The future, there is very, very nice times are awaiting. So definitely you will be happy. Don't step away from Swadharma. And also, like, another point, that if you do not want to kill your elders, Bhishma and Drona and people like that, anyway they are going to die. And to protect their life, okay, if you give up your Swadharma and if you don't kill them, can you guarantee that they are going to live forever? No. So it is not. So then why are you giving up your Swadharma for that? If they die, they will definitely get another body and they will continue to exist also. And if you do not accept, okay, till now what Krishna was mentioning is with the assumption that I accept that soul exists. So then after that, Krishna mentions, if you don't accept the existence of soul, that is atheistic. So even in that case, so like, no, it's just like everyone is just a bag of chemicals. So a few bags of chemicals are just dismantled. तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? It is going to be in one combination and it's going to be in another combination. So like, no कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So even in atheistic perspective, so there is no question of you stepping down from your Swadharma, right? So this is something that like Krishna establishes, and then he is inspiring Arjuna. Krishna is inspiring Arjuna. Just follow your Swadharma as a Kshatriya in Karma Yoga, not Krishna consciousness in Karma Yoga, and not give up your Swadharma for petty reasons. And so after this, we are going to see in the further sessions that Karma Yoga can be performed in two ways. One is like, one way of performing Karma Yoga is called Sakama Karma, which is which produces bondage. Another way of performing Karma Yoga is Nishkama Karma, which produces Jnana and Vairagya. Right? So, and Krishna will mention that. And then Krishna will also describe about the symptoms of a person who has actually got this Jnana Vairagya. You are talking about like, you will get Jnana Vairagya, you will get Jnana Vairagya. But then, what is the state of existence of a person who has actually went through this process and he has attained the position of, like, he has realized or he has come to the platform of Jnana Vairagya. So what is that position? So this we will see in the later sessions. So thank you very much for your patient audience. So any questions on this? I don't know if we have time for questions. Okay. So we can take few questions. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
So we are basically following the package one that slide, right? You had few packages in your slide, right? Package 1, 2, 3. So we are right now in the package one, right?
Yes.
Office work, we are
yes. Package 2 and 3 starts with sannyas, and which Arjuna wanted to, and Krishna did not give permission. Yes. Yes. आपका नाम?
In ISKCON, some people wear white clothes, some like you orange. What does it signify?
It signifies that those who are resolved not to get married and to engage in the process of this one, so they wear saffron. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So anyone has any reflections? Yeah. Yes. Yes. So basically, like tolerance means after performing our duty. So everywhere there is a duty that is there. So like now, if a child is doing a mistake, the parent is not supposed to tolerate that. No. So like, so what is being mentioned as tolerance here is what is adharma that needs to be tolerated, and what is dharma that should not be tolerated. No, that has to be executed. No. So like there is a definite difference in various situations how one is supposed to react and how one is supposed to act in that particular situation. So all of that is mentioned. So now, for example, Arjuna's kingdom, Pandava's kingdom have been snatched away, and Krishna is telling you should fight. No, Krishna is again and again insisting that you should fight. So why? Because that is the dharmic action that needs to be performed. So, but there are other things that are there which is non-dharmic, no, but then no, it pops up, no. So those things has to be tolerated actually. Specifically, in terms of tolerance, what is mentioned is the profit and loss. How much profit I get, and how much happiness I get, no, or how much sadness I get, and then whether somebody blasphemes me or praises me. So that should not deviate me from execution of my dharma. So by tolerating all this results, the results one has to tolerate, the actions one has to perform according to what is to be performed. Right. So that is how this whole thing is designed. And as I mentioned, like in a generic way, it is very, very difficult to answer because like it takes understand the nuances and then understand the situations and like environment and stuff like that. Not every time the same thing will apply, right? So now here we see that Krishna is telling that fighting is recommended at this point in time. We find many instances where in case of in Srimad Bhagavatam, in case of Guru Maharaj, like his brother was killed, and then he went ahead and then he fought with the Yakshas who killed his brother. And at some point in time, like the Lord or the representative of the Lord, they came and they told like, no, you're going overboard. No, stop fighting. No, this is not what is dharma. So like it is dharma has to be followed under guidance. No, that is why it is very, very essential that we need to have guidance. So here Arjuna is also like taking a specific guidance from Krishna, that I'm confused with this generic arguments and generic propositions and things like that. I want to know exactly what I'm supposed to do. So a person who has got better knowledge, better jnana vairagya, so they can actually guide a person who has got a lesser jnana vairagya, and they can actually see what dharma is, what this one is, and how in this situation, what action it is performed, the person can actually make advancement in Krishna consciousness. So all these things requires a mature guidance actually, situation to situation. So that is where the process is very important. So like how do we develop jnana vairagya? So when we execute karma yoga or jnana yoga or bhakti yoga, so that produces this jnana vairagya. So we have to ensure that Srila Prabhupada, when he was teaching to his young disciples, so he was at one point in time, like, he was getting, severe health issues and he had to travel to India back. So at that time, he mentions that this Nectar of Instruction, there is a nice book called Nectar of Instruction. So in that he mentions that Utsaha, Dhairya, Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya, Tat Karma Pravartanat, Sangacha, Tago, Sato Vritti. Sato Vritti, like, in that, when this word comes, Srila Prabhupada mentions, no underhand dealings, like dealing straightforward. And we should ensure that in our, throughout the day, like, we should definitely execute bhakti, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, we should chant, we should study, sacred literatures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, we should render service, we should perform deity worship. All of these things will produce Jnana Vairagya. And along with that, whatever work that we are doing, so that should be dharmic, and we should, we should ensure that, we are not unnecessarily speaking any lies, we are not hurting other people, and things like that. So all those elements of jnana, so all of them have to be followed. And also we are discharging our responsibilities. Like, some of you may be parents, some of you may be, having different responsibilities that you have. Discharging all those dharmic responsibilities properly, all of these things put together, it will produce jnana vairagya. So that is how this jnana vairagya is produced. Yes.
You were telling that whatever suffering are there, they might be the past life karma of someone. And you might have done something wrong in the past life, that's why you are suffering. And suppose the person who was sufferer in the past life, and you are telling that he is giving or she is giving pain to you, or that is how you have to tolerate whatever your karma, thinking that was your past life. So the person who is giving pain to someone else in his current life, so this process will carry on to other lives, and
Yes.
how it will stop. This in one life.
That is why.
Cause pain to someone in, and then next life we will cause pain to someone, and then another.
So there is a nice chapter called Purushottama Yoga. How all these things get stopped. Chapter 15. Like, we have, there is a very nice shloka that talks about how to actually, cut down. Krishna, in fact, he mentions, that this is like a banyan tree. Have a banyan tree? So, like, roots keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and it's like quite a complex mesh of things. And how can such a banyan tree be, like, when will it cease to exist? It's getting renewed energy by newer and newer roots. So, like, anadi karma phala, so it is also mentioned, like, it is impossible to actually cut this tree of, like, actions and reactions and karma and things like that, right? So, oh, sorry, I just went past. So this is very nice thing that Krishna mentions. Anybody can guess what Krishna mentions? Huh? Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya kama dvandve vimukte shukadukka samjay gacchantyamudan padam avyayam tat. No, not this. He mentions that you have to cut this strongly rooted tree. So iske pehle wala shloka mein hai. Ashanga shastrena dridena chitva. No? So, yeah, so asanga shastrena. So there is a shastra called asanga. So, like, that is by detachment. So that is why, like, Krishna is going to tell, right words, he's going to speak about, like, he's going to briefly speak about sakama karma. So that is with attachment. So when you perform even a dharmic activity with attachment, so you are not going to cut the bondage to this material world. But when you don't have any aspirations in this material world, your aspiration is only, like, beyond this material world. So that is, like, getting back to our original home, that is spiritual world. So then that kind of a detachment will produce jnana vairagya. So otherwise, like any amount of activity, actions and reactions, it's only going to get more and more messier and messier and messier. So it's not going to solve the problem at all. So that is why we have to perform yoga, karma yoga, that is what is that? Nishkama karma yoga or bhakti yoga, So we have to perform like these yoga systems, for that is a process of cutting down this bondage. So when we perform these yogas, what happens is like all the accumulated karmas, they get burnt up like that, like just a little bit of fuel that is put in a blazing fire, it just burns up, completely. It answers your question or no? Okay, what is
But I need to understand the final version which you told me that perform Vishram Karan Yoga to burn all karmas. So that I need to understand in detail to understand that how we should cut our this life.
That's there in chapter 3, 4, 5 of Bhagavad Gita. And in the middle 6 chapters, you will find, like even more intense way of cutting the tree, that is through Bhakti Yoga. Right? So these are all nice processes. In a simple way, if you at all want to cut this, so just do this simple process of chanting the names of the Lord and attentively hearing the names of the Lord. And so many lifetimes of bondage is going to get cut, by this simple process. So this is a process of knowledge, It's a process of developing. Hare Krishna. Yes. Okay. So we'll close here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So also like, we have a wonderful temple coming up in this Whitefield area. And we have come up with a small activity, for all of the devotees. So if you see, like it is a temple, of 20 crores plus, budget. But it's quite difficult to raise such a kind of this one. So in fact, I was discussing with various people. So then they were asking like, what is your strength? So then I told my strength is that like we have 1,000-member congregation. We have a very huge family. So then they told like, if you have 1,000 people connected to you, so like they have to just do, each one of them have to do just small thing. What is a small thing? So we have a scheme called Ekadashi Sankalpa. So in this scheme, like anybody enrolls into the scheme, they have to just give 540 rupees every Ekadashi for next 2 years. So and if all of us register just 10 people into the scheme, the temple will get built. So is it difficult to convince anybody to give 540 rupees every Ekadashi for next 2 years? It's quite a simple thing actually. So if we can just do this small activity, then we can actually build this wonderful temple. And this temple will be a very nice place where this teachings of this Bhagavad Gita can be propagated in a very big way, and many people can actually get benefited. And in this way, like we can propagate wonderful Krishna consciousness. And also this month, like December month and January, November, January, December, like we generally celebrate it as a book marathon. So one of the items of knowledge which Srila Prabhupada actually mentions, or in the Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, this 13th chapter, is that non-violence. And Srila Prabhupada gives a nice definition of non-violence. People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So unless one elevates people to knowledge, one is practicing violence. So, like people are suffering in this world, and we have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Unless we are giving this Bhagavad Gita to others, we are practicing violence. So because we have means it is like if somebody is having fever and you have Dolo in your pocket, and like आप सोच रहे कि like मुझे fever आया तो बाद में like मेरे पास नहीं रहेगा. So we should not think like that. So like aspect of practicing non-violence means किसी को कुछ तकलीफ है and I have the means to relieve that difficulty, I should actually like help them out. So now we have Bhagavad Gita, we have attended Gita course, we have Bhagavad Gita in our hand. So like we should also at least try to speak to some people that like there is something called Bhagavad Gita exists, and it can give you, great happiness in your life. So why don't you check that out? Why don't you see like what's there in this wonderful book? So this is also like, these two things are our request. So please speak to people about Bhagavad Gita. Whether they take it or not, that's up to them. But at least we can try our endeavor, that it is our dharma, to speak about the Lord, speak about the this one, because people are suffering because of lack of this knowledge. Ideally speaking, the government and the educational institutes, they are supposed to teach all these things, but because they are not doing it, we are voluntarily trying to do this thing. So it is our dharma to spread this knowledge to people. And also, my humble request is that please ask from people that if you can contribute this 540 every Ekadashi for next 2 years, and if you can enroll into this scheme of Ekadashi Sankalpa, so we'll be very grateful. Our temple can get built very quickly. And those of them who are enrolling into this Ekadashi Sankalpa, we are performing birthday pujas and Ekadashi pujas for them. And also we are writing their names in a copper sheet. We are engraving their names in a copper sheet. And before the Pratishtha of the deity, so we will be placing all these copper sheets beneath the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's also a very nice, this one reciprocation that they can get from the Lord in this way. So please try this. In this way, it will be of great help for us. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would really like to thank Prabhuji for enlightening us, for enriching our soul with the real